don't know what I expected for the last years of my life, but this probably wasn't it. I can fully understand how God got me to the place where this was the place to be. Everything that happened before this brought me to where I can be effective here. So I realized that. But I truly believe that God's the one that had been directing all along so that we would be prepared to be effective here in the work at Hope Radio. My role at Hope Radio really is ministry, outreach, and discipleship. And we have already planted churches in at least one village, 3 villages now out from that village. We could go to 100 different villages right now that would be receptive and willing for us to come and start teaching the Bible and reach people and then plant churches. We'll usually show the Jesus film and we'll have 100 to 300 to 400 people come to that. If we are prepared at that point, we'll start a Bible study teaching the chronological gospel, the story of hope that we use here. And we'll teach that for a year. As that group develops, we start to train people and we begin to see churches popping up in those places. I have 3 people that I'm training to be disciplers and to follow up. And we are already overworked and overtaxed. It's very difficult to sit here and say there's a village that may not have a church for 10 years because we don't have somebody to go there. And I don't like that. I want to be able to have more people that are out there. My belief is we can reach this part of Togo. We can change this part of Togo. So the prayer is that God would raise up skilled people in the local languages that we're trying to use, and that they would be able to carry the message into places that I am not physically or linguistically able to do. Getting decent food to eat, and actually healthy food to eat, was really hard. So we did a garden and we started doing some vegetables and things, got a few animals, raised some chickens and things. So we're actually at 8 employees right now working the farm project. That, I think, provides food for their families and help for them, and it's a really good thing, good feeling to have. We're producing enough eggs to provide profit that should be able in the next few months to support 1 or 2 staff members at Hope Radio. Everybody in Mongo farms, I mean literally everybody. And now they know there's one missionary who knows their life. He farms like they do. It has made so many bridges to people that I never saw coming. That just opens doors right and left for the gospel. Just shortly after we got here to Mongo in 2016, we met a lady who attended a Bible study that we were involved in. Turns out she's the wife of a witch doctor in a village north of here. She went home and told her husband, who had refused up until then to let her even go to a church or a Bible study. And he said, well, if it means that much to you, why don't you tell them to come do that in my village, which is called Galangashi. So we received an invitation from the witch doctor to come up and present the gospel at his home, actually, in the village of Galangashi. So we set up to go show the Jesus film there one Saturday night and had a couple hundred people come out for that. We had some professions of faith decisions. We invited them to do a Bible study on a Sunday morning a week later. We had about 50 people come to that, and they came and were faithful, and we were learning Chikosi songs about Jesus. And we had a man who started coming who had been a contact through the hospital here, and he said, could you come do this at my house? Because he lives on the opposite side of the village. So a couple months later, we went up there and we showed the Jesus film again, and we had 300 people come to that and had many more professions of faith. Recently, they got together, rather than having 2 tribes, 2 churches, 2 studies, 2 groups, they got together and put together a straw church building with a roof over it. And so now we have one church for the center of Galangashi that we call the Hope Church of Galangashi. Well, these are animist people mostly in this village. They said, no one ever told us about God before. It's not just that they're grateful. Their lives have been changed, and I mean changed forever. And it's fantastic to see God opening people, not just doors, but opening people's hearts and eyes. And we see them every week that singing the praises of God, learning their Bibles, reciting the verses, and everything about their lives is different now. And they've burned all their fetishes, they've burned their idols, it's all gone away. And Jesus has done it all. Our prayer requests really relate specifically to the ministry. Hope Radio is trying to reach out into places that have never had the gospel, and we have to be able to follow up on those people. We have to be able to get to where they are, because the signal will get there. Our belief is somebody has to go there and make that connection. Somebody has to take Jesus to those people, that we just can't count on the radio doing it all. So the other thing that really is a burden is our church planting ministries. We're church planting in one village. I could go right now to 100 other villages, just like that one, and see the same thing happen over and over again. And I don't have the people to do that. We don't have the resources to do that. We see people dying all the time. Death is like a daily occurrence in these villages. And you know that when they die without Jesus, and they die without hope. So that's our prayer request, that somehow we'll figure out how to get to those places while we can.